Joining me in the studio now is Tini Sevak, who is the Global Head of Data Applications at YouGov. Tini, lovely to speak to you.
Yes.
You've just been speaking elsewhere here on the
Yes.
floor. Give me a flavour of your session just now.
Yeah, so we were on the marketing transformation stage, talking about how brands and marketers in this sort of modern marketing era can tap into consumer understanding to optimize the engagement that they have with their consumers in a different sort of innovative way.
And how is this a changing landscape? I mean, obviously tapping into consumers and their insight. Are consumers becoming more difficult to reach and difficult to read?
Yeah, I think there's two sides to it. I think there's one which is with data and tech, you're seeing two sort of pillars. One which is people who are tapping into that as an opportunity to get in the understanding of consumers where they are using new forms. And then there's the other aspect which is it's too much data out there, so they're almost burying their heads in the sand and sort of still looking at a world of proxies. So I think we will see this year a big sort of shift, and hopefully not using the word, but transformation in terms of how we define consumers and how we interact with them.
Too much data to make sense of. I think there are many organisations that are facing a similar challenge because they've been collecting so much data, and then it's getting some insight out of it. Lots of organisations are talking big about how they can employ artificial intelligence and machine learning and more advanced analytics. Well, what's your take on the, I guess, immediate or near-term value of that? How close are we being able to do that really?
Yeah, I think there's a massive debate that you can have on what is artificial intelligence. I think it ranges from how do you use algorithms to automate sort of processes all the way to the driverless car. And so organizations sit on a very different ends of spectrums, but I think it is how we become smarter in terms of tech being how can you distill data in a quicker, process it, and get to those insights easier so you don't hit analysis paralysis, but how you can drive data and decisions from it. I think big data has been thrown around a lot. I shift that and challenge it, which is it's not big data, but it's the right data.
Yes.
And so how do you find and underpin your tech stack or analytics stack with the right data that will allow you to understand consumers, buy them more intelligently, and then measure all of your efforts and optimize against that piece.
And at what point does the technology need to stop? We talk about AI is only valuable in terms of spotting patterns and so on, but you still need humans to understand emotions and to tell stories on top of those insights.
Yeah, so I think there'll be a balance between the two. I don't think robots are going to take over the world, but I think you'll always have robots and machine learning and AI will help streamline and sort of process things faster, but it doesn't have that emotion piece to it. So the actual storytelling, the actual heart of why consumers do what they do is where the human aspect comes into play. I think AI will help with what and how do we predict, but they won't have that emotional aspect to it.
Coming back,
unless I'm out of a job then.
Well, there's be quite a few of us out of a job, if that's the case. Coming back to YouGov, what's particularly exciting you in your role with what YouGov's coming up with over the next 12 or 18 months? Yeah,
I think there's a lot of things exciting. I think this year, and we've sort of seen a lot of change that's coming in there. I think so I sit in our innovation hub or center of excellence, which our sole unit's job is to put innovation back into the business. So that's everything from how we engage with our panelists. So not just the surveys, but the questions we ask, how we ask them. So looking at more app-friendly, Instagram-friendly of being able to answer on things, how chatbots will sort of be a new way of getting that insights around attitudes and people's perceptions and behaviors. But more importantly, I think how we take that and build client solutions that are AI-driven, that are more predictive, that distill those data points that we have in the vast data sets that you have into insights and actions.
Sounds like an exciting time there at YouGov. Tini, it's been great to speak to you today. Have a great time here at the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.